Hello everyone, my name is Archon Virtual. Welcome to Warframe. Today is December 6th of 2023. Tomorrow is when Whispers in the Walls is supposed to be released. So I wanted to head on over to Deimos and review some of the content over there. So the things I wanted to review here was some of the story of, well, I guess all of the story of Albert Dentrada, the man behind the Void, or at least Void Travel. I'm sure a lot of people who'd probably see this video would already probably know a lot of this stuff, but I just wanted to review some stuff today before the update tomorrow, which I will be playing it, and see how much of that information is still relevant in the update tomorrow. What's funny though is that there is this void wall here. I have no idea what this even really is. It looks like it has like void elements to it, a bunch of floating objects and things, but like none of the rest of the family can get back here as far as I'm aware. So far it's just been Lloyd, and he's a synthetic entity. But I don't know. In any case, it only opens up for Tenno. I'm not sure if that has any significance with the Heart of Deimos or not, but it might as well. Well, that's new. So they were right, I should really check this out then, huh? I've seen some videos previously about hearing the whispering in the walls, literally, and the knocking. That's 3 taps, though. That really is Wally then, huh? Nice. So, for those of you that are unaware, back here in the Necrolisk, there are a bunch of these little terminals here that mimic the Requiem mod symbols. And of course they have whatever their existing name is and then their translation. Like XATA over here in True. I'll go through each of these. Each one of these reveals like a short cutscene about Albert Dentrada and sort of his discovery of Void Travel. I don't know what this construct is though. But whatever it is, it does have a portal of some sort that goes down here into the void. I've speculated with some friends of mine about what this is exactly, but we're not sure how it relates to the Heart of Deimos or not. If I could replay the quest, I would, but unfortunately I can't right now. But yeah, let's review these. Oh, each of these are unlocked as you reach higher and higher ranks with the family here on Deimos.
XATA. Truth. It began long before us. We who now live our perfect and dull, endless lives. It began long before these moon palaces and body markets hurling around our golden sun. It began long before our light coil thinkers, our radiation wars, our oil smoke. It began with us, the continuity and its twin, wanderlust. The need for unseen shores deep in our marrow. No judge, jester, queen, or king can escape this old blood. We are nomads, eternal. And when no ocean, mountain, or sky could contain us, our gaze hungered starward. Afar, they mocked us with their brittle light, winking and jeering like dangling iotons, forever out of reach, illuminating the truth. Immortal as we are, we die with the sun. That's where I come in.
Huh. That's interesting. So the Orcan Empire was around for quite a while then, if they were mentioning even like the radiation wars and stuff, because that means like World War III and things like that, I think. Oh yeah, and he did also mention the duality of continuity and wanderlust. Back in one of the quests, I forget which one it was, I believe maybe it's the sacrifice. Ballas said something about them having an old religion of duality of things, where something would always consist of two parts. I guess that was, well, wanderlust and continuity. Let's move on to the next one.
JAHU. Form. My departure was a day less than any other. When I stepped inside the bell, I saw no crowd through its glass, no skeptical onlookers, no regal send-off. They all had given up on me and my paradoxical formulations. The wasted years had all shown the void to be just that. Nothing. No energy, no entanglement, no form. To spacefaring ambitions, a dead end. On the day, my laboratory was mostly vacant of witnesses, most of all of expectation. Only my sluggish attendants, my sagacious Kavat, Kalimos, and of course my daughter. I had raised her alone, but with inconsistent vigor. In those eyes, her mother's, I did see a terrible reflection of a man that did not exist. A brave and principled man about to make history. In truth, he was a void himself, an outcast, a joke, a nothing. Driven by my humiliation, failure had made me bitter and reckless. I would dive into the depths myself to prove them all wrong. I gave the signal. My daughter grasped the lever. Kalimos then belted out a desperate, rasping growl. But it was too late.
Then whose grandmother, I wonder? Because if he really did raise her alone, then who is currently the matriarch of the Entrati family? Unless, of course, she just steps in later, but I don't know. Her story has always kind of interested me too, because it never really seemed like she lost her memories. And I believe there was a dialogue point somewhere where she mentioned that she never really forgot. So, I don't know. Let's continue.
VOME. Order. The calipers yawed open the wall between worlds, stretching there a black trapezoidal gap. A door. A mouth. It yawned in the light of the room, splintering it to mesmerizing, unearthly hues. And I, inside the bell, dropping obliquely toward it from my gallows. Mass and time rippled as a sudden vortex jawed before me. My head was vapor, my feet lodestone. The bell around me flexed like a rat paralyzed in a winding, gulping snake. I faltered in the awe of it, stumbling against the ceraglass, and with that shifted the bell's path through the wall. It grazed the caliper membrane, the edge of the door. No worldly edge was as thin, as sharp as could split even light. As the bell faintly grazed it, the ceraglass was all at once rendered like strips of flesh by Dak's blade. My enclosure was beheaded in an instant, but still, I fell, sideways, into the void.
So basically he slips, has a bit of an accident, and the ceraglass bell shatters. And he still enters the void. Okay. But he did also mention that, what was it? His eyes were like vapor? I believe that continues in the next one.
FASS. Chaos. Death was on me, I was certain. I was face down, eyes clenched, my heart pulsing the last of its seconds, and my lungs burning the last of its air. A sudden nostalgia gripped me. I grasped desperately for memory of a storm just past, the fumbling pitch of a child's song. Yet all these thoughts seemed to steal away from my mind like smoke through a vent. I would die empty. I then became aware of another sensation, physical, a web of pain, needles itching into my arm. At once I realized I was alive. Laying in the bill's shattered ceraglass, I groped the ground, warm stone, the floor of my laboratory. So, I had never left. And so, I had failed. Again. I heard a crunch alongside me. Someone stepping through the shattered glass. With great shame, I gasped and rose my head to face my daughter above me. But as I opened my eyes, it wasn't her. It was me.
So that puts things into much clearer context for me. So essentially what happens is that as certain thoughts and memories came to mind, they literally were spilled from his head and into the area around him, which I think is what was necessary to cause that new realm to take shape.
Light. The senselessness of it, the paradoxic, the vague, untimed form. I was alone, but not, for I stood there confronted by myself, a twin but no brother, a reflection but with dimension. Behind him, no horizon but a vast broiling sea of caustic light pierced at random by black pin stars, and closer, around me, a gale of flowing vapor, profane in color, billowing relentlessly into the nascent lack, seeking all directions. I was standing on a precipice of familiar stone, jagged and unanchored as though cleaved directly from the very floor of my laboratory. I wondered at the vapor's path, smoking outward more, leaving behind now the walls, the filigree gold, the rare cuts of marble from my home. I knew at once the vapor's source. I turned away, back toward the wall, the trapezoid I had yawed into it. Vapor erupted inward at the gap, but not just from there. For as I rolled my eyes back, I saw the same. A great steam of scintillation smoking out from my skull. Dumb in awe, I faced toward my chimerical twin. He spoke.
Yeah, so what I thought was right. Essentially, his memories, and even from the reality he came from, spilled out into the void and made it take shape, gave it form. And also at the same time gave whatever this guy is, his shape.
KHRA, time. An old name, unspoken in the centuries since my mother reared me. A soft hiss, soothing as a viper's gaze. Little Bengal. The other me reached out, offering his hand, gliding toward me without moving, as though the distance between us was now collapsing. A confusion, most euphoric, filled my mind. With the shred of wit that remained, I decided that I should run for my life. At once, crazed and frantic, I fled. But I made no forward progress. Instead, the world compressed evermore around me, as though I were an anchor pulling the shore to reach. When I arrived at the door, or rather, the door arrived at me, I howled, hurling myself inside, out. And then and there I was, lost and unlost, howling on the floor in harmony with my wretched Kalimos, lacerated in flesh and heart, scattered as the bell glass, spilling blood and stomach on the cold stone floor. But I sensed the other there at the wall's breach behind me, reaching still. I screamed, but my voice was gone. Forever. I looked, but my eyes would never see again. I swept my fist across the floor, snatching broken shards, and in gripping tightly, I filled my hands with ink. Close it, I wrote.
Nice. So, Entrati was essentially followed back by whatever this void creature is. I don't want to call it a void god, because we've never actually seen what its powers are, but I'll entertain the thought and the theory. But yeah, he didn't come back in one piece. He didn't come back whole. He came back in parts. That's interesting.
NETRA. Decay. Time, to us, is all but conquered. Our sacred kuva moves us on to new skin. We numb to our daily, yearly trifles, and remedy those memories that bring lasting misery. With all our misdeeds, our excess, our indignity, we are haunted by nothing. But not for me, for with each passing day, there grew within a tumorous idea. It was minute in those early days, the pale reaching digits severed on the floor, studied with reverence, with greed. And it swelled larger in the latter days. The regal domes, the rail dedications, the unholy Zariman parade. I had put the stars within reach, but at what cost? I never spoke of him, that man trapped in the wall. And while there have been countless souls who have followed me through with their light skippers and field wave skins and very-eyed instruments, not a single one ever saw him. Me. And so it is that I will not take the kuva now, or ever again. This is the last skin I'm in. Because of this idea, that I cannot be sure that in all that smoked commotion, in all that panic and fear, in that bending light and blinding dark, was it I who escaped? Or the other?
That's also a very interesting point. So essentially, Entrati's dead now. He shouldn't be still alive, at least not in this continuity, but after the whole Deviri paradox debacle, he could be both alive and dead. So, I don't know. Eternalism is still a weird concept for me, but But this also makes me think that Entrati did make it back because these severed fingers weren't his. They were of the other. They were of the uncaring entity. The uncaring void creature. If I remember correctly, Yanta says something about there being duplicates of these things made. But I don't remember exactly. You guys will know better than me. Just go on ahead and leave any corrections down in the comments.
LOHK. Void. From brooding gulfs are we beheld by that which bears no name. Its heralds are the stars it fells, the sky and earth aflame. Corporeal laws are unwrit as suns and love retreat. To cosmic madness, laws submit, though stalwart minds entreat. In luminous space, blackened stars they gaze, accuse, deny. Roiling, moaning, this realm of ours in madness lost shall die. Carrion hordes trill their profane accord with eldritch plans. to cosmic forms from tangent planes, we end as we began.
I'm gonna have a lot of Googling to do after that. I don't really fully understand everything that he just said because he uses a higher diction, but that was more or less the Requiem poem, I think. Because if I come back here to my Parazon, I probably shouldn't have accessed it from in there, but yeah, each of the Requiem mods has a piece of the poem in it. Maybe he just gave us the order we need to use in order to take down whatever Wally is. Yeah, they're all here. Well, almost all of them. I don't have every one, I don't think. No, I don't. But that could very well be important. I wonder if I can pinpoint that sound. Oh. Oh, well. Yeah, so from some of the teasers that I saw, we'll be coming back here tomorrow. I'm very interested to see what all of this is going to end up being. Alright. Well, I guess that's it for now. I'll see you then. I've been Archon Virtual. I'll see you tomorrow.